stories to share during this episode of Lit with a Twist. No, you shouldn't read all of these in one sitting. You can, if you really want to. So I'm going to go through some of my favorite short stories that have come into publication then and now. So some past favorites too. So starting at the top, The Wilds. This is a collection of short stories that people describe Southern Gothic. Lots of fun. Pick this up. It's a newer release. And the cocktail that you should definitely pair with this is gin based, because it's gin in the South. So looking up the recipe. So what you should drink while reading The Wilds. This cocktail recipe is a chamomile gin cocktail. So if you want to make 8, if you're doing the whole book club party thing, which I highly recommend, of course, 1/4 cup dried chamomile flowers, or if, chamomile flowers aren't readily available, chamomile tea bags will do. 6 tablespoons honey, 2 cups London dry gin, and 3/4 fresh cup lemon juice. And if you don't have fresh lemon juice, I won't tell anyone. Lemon juice that you buy at the store is also totally fine. So that's The Wilds. And some of you may know that Neil Gaiman came out with a new short story collection called Trigger Warning. So I became a fan of Neil Gaiman's short fiction with Fragile Things, which came out a while ago. Looking up the publication date. This was published in 2006. It's been a while, but I highly recommend both of them, and they both would pair exceedingly well with a really deep, bold red wine. I would probably do a red blend, something with high acidity, maybe low tannins, and you can have fun with like the different kinds. If you want some specific wine recommendations, please head on over to the litwithatwist.com blog recap on the short story and pairing collections. So then we have 10th of December, George Saunders. Pick up this book. It is absolutely amazing. The quick synopsis on this one is 10th of December is the most honest, moving, and critically acclaimed collection yet from George Saunders, one of the most important writers of his generation. These stories take on the big questions and explore the fault lines of our own morality, the characters vividly and lovingly infused with Saunders' signature blend of exuberant prose, deep humanity, and stylistic innovation. This couldn't be more right. I have not read short stories that really delve into, I don't want to sound super corny by saying the human condition, but it really makes you think on why people do what they do, and it's just such a great short story collection. Please pick it up. And for this one, I would pair I would pair this with a, it's so hard because the stories are so different. I would go a little crazy with this one and pair it with a kind of a rage right now, or trend, not really, you can call it whatever you want, but they actually serve cans of wine. Yes, I went to a book fair where they had a wine tasting and they had cans of wine, and I was like, I don't really know how I feel about this. The wine was actually pretty darn decent. And then they let us pour it into sippy cups and walk around the rest of the Lit Fest, which I recommend doing that as well. Obviously not in public, because that's against the law. So 10th of December, I'll have some available links on the blog recap of what these concoctions are, but I actually think it would pair really well with this type of short story collection, and it's definitely a conversation starter. Moving on, Demons in the Spring, Joe Mino. For those who aren't very familiar with Joe Mino, he is a fantastically semi-depressing author. He wrote the novel The Little Boy Detective Fails, and it's basically how this heartwarming, thoughtful story of a little boy detective, and you're wrong, it's not that story. Like, the Hardy Boys are like drug dealers, and it's some really dark stuff happens. It's an awesome book, and Demons in the Spring kind of keeps with that same vibe, as making you not feel very, very good about humanity and life. And it's kind of, it's awesomely sad. And I picked through this book, like when you want to pick it up. It's actually a really good winter read. So I know it's the summer, so maybe save this one for like you know, curling up on a cold winter's day, make yourself a hot toddy. That would go so well with this book. That, or just drink some straight whiskey or scotch, like Powers whiskey. It's a good middle of the road, not too fancy whiskey. It would go really well with this. There's one story about a young boy and his sister in the middle of the woods, how they find a dead deer in it's bitter cold. Like, you just feel your bones crackling when you read it. It's so well done. He's such a great author. So if you kind of want that little, you know, vein break, this should be your go-to. Rounding out the short story collection, Margaret Atwood Stone Mattress. It's really good. Margaret Atwood Stone Mattress. It's so good. The first 3 stories tie into each other, and it's so clever. Margaret Atwood really can't do any wrong, with, you know, just in all honesty. I tore through this book probably within a day, and I kind of pick it back up and reread some of my favorite short stories in it. I highly recommend it. And this, kind of what the cover suggests, I would definitely pair this with a more mineral based Sauvignon Blanc, something with just some really great grit to it. And I know that sounds a little weird for those who really don't play that much in the different styles of wine, but having a white wine that's more on the mineral or earthy side versus like the butter or creamy side, it just gives a lot more character to the wine, and you have that crisp, refreshing taste, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I don't really taste a lot of fruit. Like, I kind of feel like I'm on the side of a mountain right now. This is really interesting. I promise it tastes delicious. I would definitely pair this with Margaret Atwood's Stone Mattress. And there are plenty of other short story collections out there. Like I said, these are my favorite that I have been reading over the past year or so. So I thought that I would share them with you. There's lots of them. So if you have your favorite short story collection, share in the comments or on litwithatwist.com. We always have the blog recaps there. So lots of fun stuff. Love short stories. So thank you for watching Lit with a Twist. My name is Rachel Yeomans. But before we wrap up, I have an exciting announcement. 2, actually, because I'm growing up. I'm an adult, guys, sort of. I am very, very excited to co-host a wine literature tasting on August 27th at Que Sera Fine Wines in Chicago. This is in partnership with the Chicago Public Library Foundation's Get Carded series. Get carded, get it, library card, drinking, love the theme. So this is the second event in the series. So there are 3 total events. So the Lit with a Twist event is happily sandwiched in the middle of the other 2. You should check out all 3. I'll post all the information, and you are seeing right now all of the details for the series. And as you can see, the first one is to be announced, so more on that as it comes up. So please mark your calendar, save the date. It's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be 6 wines paired with 6 different books, and maybe even some raffles, some other fun stuff. So I'm really, really excited about it and really proud to be working with such a fantastic foundation. The other announcement is Lit with a Twist is now available on audio. We launched a podcast because I love podcasts. I've been listening to podcasts for years, even before Serial, way before. So I even previously have hosted a fashion news podcast some of you may have heard of, called Speaking of Fashion. I have since moved on from that, so now I am bringing Lit with a Twist to your commuting pleasure, because it is dangerous to watch a video while you are driving a car. So I am bringing to you literature and cocktail alcohol pairings in the convenience of your iPhone or not Walkman. You know, just think of another technological device, something on demand. We are hosted on SoundCloud. That is soundcloud.com/litwithatwist. And you can also download it on iTunes and some of your other podcast sharing pleasures. So the first episode's on there now. I'm going through the editing of transferring the audio onto the podcast format, so stay tuned for more. So thank you so much, everyone, for your support, and thank you for watching. Now go pick up a short story collection and let me know what you think of it. Thanks, everyone.